I'm Hemadevi Tumma from the Department of Pharmacy, Chaitanya Deemed to be University. Today, my topic is plant tissue culture. So, let us discuss regarding the plant tissue culture in detail. So, let us move with the definition first. So, what is plant tissue culture? Plant tissue culture is the in vitro cultivation of plant cell or tissue under aseptic conditions and the controlled environmental conditions by employing a culture media, mainly liquid or semi-solid media. So this tissue culture is mainly meant or mainly used for the production of primary and secondary metabolites or to regenerate the plant. And at the same time, the plant tissue culture is widely used for the micropropagation method. So what happens in the micropropagation method? With the help of micropropagation method, a clone of plants can be developed. So what is a clone? It is the identical plants can be developed with the help from the parent plant. That is called a micropropagation method. So another wide use of plant tissue culture is the callus culture. So in the callus culture, the callus have been developed through the tissue culture technique, and that callus is responsible for the production of secondary metabolites, and at the same time it is also helpful to regenerate a new plant. So next, moving with the advantages of the tissue culture. So the tissue culture is having the wide range of advantages. So one among them is the availability of the raw material. So sometimes there may be some plants which cannot be cultivated, and there are some plants which cannot be available in the abundant quantities. So to meet such criteria, with the help of tissue culture technique, such plants can be developed from the host and the parent plant, and at the same time, because of the deforestation and the unbalanced cutting of the trees also, there may be unavailability of the raw material. But with the help of tissue culture technique, such fluctuations can be overcome with the help of the tissue culture technique. Next advantage is the fluctuation in supplies and the quality. So sometimes because of the diseased crops or because of the climatic changes, there may be a fluctuation in the supplies with respect to the demand in the market. And at the same time, there may be changes or there may be disruptions in the quality of the crop also because of the diseases also. So with the help of tissue culture, we can overcome such negotiations such as fluctuations in the supplies, and at the same time we can develop or we can produce a disease-free crop which is going to have a high quality crops. And next advantage is the effective advantage for the tissue culture is one can get a patent rights when the innovation is through the tissue culture technique. As all of you know that the natural occurring plants and their metabolites cannot be patented, but whatever the isolation techniques that can be developed through the tissue culture can be patented. And at the same time, the last advantage of the tissue culture is disease-free and desired propagule. So what is the meaning of propagule here? The meaning of propagule is any structure of the plant that have been developed, that have been regenerated from the parent plant with the help of sexual and asexual reproduction. So whatever the desired variant is there, that can be developed with the help of tissue culture, and at the same time whatever the varieties that you are desired of, that can be of disease free. Moving into the plants of tissue culture. So the tissue culture is broadly classified into two types. One is based upon the explant used and another is on the basis of the in vitro growth. First method, that is on the basis of the explant used. So the meaning of explant is, so any part of the plant that has been excised from the parent plant or the host plant, that is called as a explant. So simple thing, the part of the organ which have been excised from the plant, that is called as a explant. So on the basis of the explant, that means whatever the excised segment of the plant is there, based upon that it has been classified or it has been subclassified into different culture methods. Let us see one by one. So first, moving into the root tip culture. According to this culture, you will be using the explant as a root. Okay, you will be taking the lateral roots, and those lateral roots should be sterilized. And after sterilization, so what are the lateral roots? Any roots that have been developed horizontally from the primary roots, those are called the lateral roots. For the root tip culture, we are taking the lateral roots. Okay, so these lateral roots should be sterilized and should be excised. The excise is nothing but cut down of the part of the plant from the parent plant, that is called the excision. So you are going to excise the plant and that should be transferred into the medium. So nothing but the culture medium. So as all of you know that the culture medium consists of a mineral salts along with the growth hormones also. And because of the growth hormones, whatever the excised part of the segment is there, that are going to be grown with the help of the culture medium. So whatever the lateral roots that are being excised, that should be sterilized and should be transferred into the culture medium. As a result, with the help of the culture medium, the lateral roots are continue to grow, and it also provides a several roots if you observe the culture after 7 days. So whatever the developed roots are there in the culture medium, that can be used for the experimental purposes or for the experimental cultures. And next, moving into the another culture method on the basis of the explant use, that is the leaves or the leaf primordia culture. So according to this culture, we'll be taking the leaves that should be detached from the shoots. And that should be surface sterilized, and the surface sterilized leaves should be placed in a solidified medium. So because of the medium, the leaves remains in a healthy condition for a longer periods. And at the same time, during the selection of the leaves for the culture, you need to select a younger leaf rather than the mature leaves. Why only younger leaves, not the mature leaves? Because the younger leaves having the higher growth rate than the mature leaves. That is why we need to select the younger leaves for the leaves or the leaf primordia culture. Next, moving into the another culture method, that is a shoot tip culture. So you are going to take the shoot tips of the plant. The shoot tips should be excised and that should be cultured. Okay, so that should be cultured in a nutrient medium where you will be having the growth hormones, and that will because of the help of culture medium, that develop into a roots, and that is responsible and whatever the culture segments or whatever the culture shoot tips are there, that is responsible to regenerate into a whole plant. That is the culture technique involved in the shoot tip culture. Next, moving into the another culture method based upon the explant used. So that is a complete flower culture. So here you are taking the plant segment as a flower. Okay, from the plant you are going to excise the flowers, and you need to select the flowers in such a way that after pollination you need to excise the flowers. The flowers which have been pollinated, you need to select such flowers and you need to excise those flowers. And after excision of the flowers, those flowers should be sterilized and should be immersed in the calcium hypochlorite solution. And after immersing in the sterilized solution, those flowers should be repeatedly washed and should be transferred into the culture medium. And because of the culture medium, such flowers will develop into new fruits. This is the technique involved in the complete flower culture. Anther and the pollen culture. So here you are using the plant segments as the anthers. Okay, just you are taking the young flower buds and those young flower buds should be sterilized. And after sterilization, the anthers should be removed. The anthers should be carefully excised from the buds and that should be transferred to the nutrient medium. And such anthers, whatever the excised anthers are there, that should be cultured on a solid agar medium, and those cultured anthers are responsible for developing into the embryos. And this is happened with respect to the light and the dark periods. Next is the ovule and the embryo culture. So here you will be taking the embryo as a plant segment. So this embryo is dissected from the ovule and that should be placed in the culture medium. And at the same time you will be also taking the embryos from the ripened seeds, and those mature embryos should be excised and should be cultured. And this mature embryos should be excised because to avoid the inhibition of the germination of seeds, will be excising the mature embryos from the ripened seeds. Before placing the embryos in the culture medium, you need to sterilize the seeds with the alcohol, okay? And then it should be washed with the sterile distilled water and kept for the germination. So the seeds are germinated in the dark and as a result, what happened with the help of the culture medium, a small pot of seedlings have been utilized for the culture technique which may regenerate into the new plants. So apart from the above mentioned cultures such as root tip culture or shoot tip culture or anther culture or ovule or the embryo culture, there are another two cultures which can be cultured for the plant tissue or the cells. Those are the protoplast culture and the hairy roots culture. So before moving into the protoplast culture, you should know what is protoplast. So the protoplast are the nothing but the plant cells. You will be having the plasma membrane, but those cells are without cell wall. And because of this, the protoplast provide the starting point for many of the techniques such as the soma-clonal variation or the soma-clonal hybridization and for the genetic transfer also. And at the same time, these protoplasts can be cultivated in the liquid as well as the solid media. So how the protoplasts are going to be isolated from the plant parts? So this protoplasts can be isolated by two methods. One is the mechanical method and another is the enzymatic method. So what happens in the mechanical method? In the mechanical method, the protoplasts can be isolated with the help of the mechanical instruments such as the homogenizers or the mortar and the pestle. And coming to the second method of isolation of protoplasts, that is the enzymatic method. In the enzymatic method, the protoplasts can be isolated with the help of the enzymes. And because of the enzymes, the protoplasts are going to be isolated. So from where you will be isolating the protoplasts. The protoplasts are going to be can be isolated from almost all parts of the plant. For isolating the protoplast, you can take any young leaves which are fully expanded, and those leaves should be collected from the healthy plant. And after excising the fully expanded younger leaves, that should be washed with the running tap water and should be sterilized by dipping in 70% alcohol, and then it should be treated with 2% solution of sodium hypochlorite for 20 to 30 minutes, and then you need to wash the excised young leaves, and then it should be washed with distilled water. So whatever the lower surface of the sterilized leaf is there, you need to peel off the lower surface of the sterilized leaf. It should be peeled off, and that should be stripped and should be cut into small pieces. And after cutting the small pieces, those leaf segments should be treated with the enzymes. Why we are treating with the enzymes? To isolate the protoplast. As it is, I said that the protoplast can be isolated by the mechanical method as well as the enzymatic method. So here is the step for the enzymatic purpose. So we are using the enzymes for the isolation of protoplast. So as a result, the protoplast can be obtained by the centrifugation process and the decantation method. As a result, whatever the solution that is obtained after centrifugation and the decantation, that should be poured in the culture medium, which is kept in the petri dishes. So you need to mix gently whatever the solution that is placed in the petri dishes. You need to mix gently by rotating the petri dishes, and you need to seal the petri dishes, and that you need the petri dishes should need to seal with a paraffin film, and that should be incubated in the incubators. So those protoplasts which are capable of undergoing the cell division will undergo a cell division, and it results in the formation of a callus within a 2 to 3 weeks. So after the formation of callus, after the 2 to 3 weeks, those callus culture should undergo another step, that is the subculture. Why the callus culture should undergo a subculture? Because the callus, whatever have been developed, should transferred into another fresh medium. So transferring of culture from one medium to another medium, that is called as subculturing technique. So during the subculturing technique, the callus which have been transferred into the fresh medium, those callus culture is responsible for developing the embryos with the process called embryogenesis. So how it is going to develop into embryos? With the help of a growth hormone such as cytokinase, and the embryos which have been developed with the help of the culturing medium as well as subculturing technique, those embryos are responsible for developing into a plantlets, and that plantlets are responsible to develop into a new plant with, that is nothing but the regeneration of the plant takes place from the embryo. So here is a schematic representation of the protoplast culture. First you will be taking the leaf, that should be surface sterilized, and the lower surface should be peeled off, and the peeled segments are undergoing the enzymatic method where you will be employing the enzymes to separate the protoplast. As a result, the protoplast gets separated, and with the help of the centrifugation method, the cells get separated. As a result, that will be developed into a callus culture. The callus is nothing but the development of mass of the cells or the tissue from the excised part of the plant, that is called as a callus. So whatever the callus that have been developed, you will be undergoing a subculture process which are responsible to develop into a new regeneration of the plants. This here is the schematic representation of the protoplast culture. Another culture method, that is the hairy root culture. This hairy root culture is a different culture method. It is a different culture method where the roots are going to develop a hairy-like structures. Because of that, it is termed as a hairy root culture. So how the roots are going to develop a hairy-like structures? Because of a soil bacteria called agrobacterium. So the species, specifically the species such as Agrobacterium rhizogenes and Agrobacterium tumefaciens are responsible to develop a hairy-like structures on the roots. So these hairy-like structure roots are excised from the host plant or the parent plant, and those are transferred into the culture medium. As a result, it is going to develop into a plenty of roots with the help of a culture medium. We call such roots as a transformed roots, and another name of such roots is called as a hairy roots. Initially, it is a kind of disease which have been caused by the Agrobacterium rhizogenes and Agrobacterium tumefaciens. But with the help of such responses, we are developing into the new plants, or we are developing into the plenty of fruits which is disease free. So here you are developing such responses which is going to have a hormone free plants. At the same time, you will be such roots we call as a transformed roots. So why we will be using this hairy root culture method? This hairy root culture method usually we will be employing when the plant culture technique, when the plant culture technique does not produce a adequate amount of the desired compounds. In such criteria, we will be using the hairy root culture for the reinvestigation. So, in simpler terms, this method can be meant for the reinvestigation. Why it is meant for the reinvestigation? Because some culture systems cannot produce a desired amount of the compounds. So, to know the fact behind such techniques, we will be using the hairy root culture methods. So another important characteristic of this hairy root culture or the transformed roots is to synthesize the secondary metabolites, and at the same time, whatever the secondary metabolites that are developed will be highly stable, and the growth kinetics also highly stable when you use the transformed roots culture or the hairy root culture. So this is the diagram of the hairy roots. You can observe the hair-like structures which have been developed through the culture technique. So next, moving into another culture method, that is on the basis of the in vitro growth. Whatever we have seen or whatever I have explained till now, it is based upon the explant used. So now we are switching on into the second method, that is in vitro growth. How you are going to develop the explant based on the laboratory or the artificial methods. So here, on the basis of the in vitro growth, there will be two cultures. One is the callus culture and another is the suspension culture. So before itself, I said what is the meaning of callus. So the callus is the aggregation of mass of cells. Aggregation of mass of parenchyma cells. So how they are going to produce those mass cells? Those mass of the cells can be produced from the mother cells. So this is called as a callus. So whatever the cultivation of callus on the culture medium under aseptic conditions, that is known as a callus culture. So callus culture is nothing but the cultivation of callus under aseptic environmental conditions by employing the culture medium, that is called as the callus culture. Next, moving into the callus culture in detail. So how you are going to perform this technique, this tissue culture technique, that is the callus culture. This is based upon the different phases. First, you need to select and you need to prepare the explant. For the development of callus, you need to prepare a culture medium. Then you need to transfer the explant. Explant is any part of the plant that have been excised from the parent plant. So whatever the explant that you are using, that should be transferred to the culture medium. Then next is the incubation of the culture. So let us see in detail one by one. First is the selection and the preparation of explant. First you need to select the explant. You can take any part of the plant, that is maybe roots, shoots or leaves or any other things. First you need to select a part of the plant, then you need to prepare the explant. So first you need to excise a part of the plant, then you need to prepare the explant. So first after excision of the explant, you need to wash with tap water and that should be sterilized with the sodium hypochlorite solution. After washing the explant with the sterile distilled water, you need to select the culture medium according to the objective of experiment. So as all of you know that the culture medium comprises of the minerals as well as the nutrients as well as the growth hormones, and depending upon your objective of the experiment, you need to select the culture medium, maybe a liquid or the semi-solid medium. And at the same time, depending upon the objective of your experiment also, you need to select the growth hormones. If your objective of experiment is the root formation, then the culture medium has to be adjusted with the indole-butyric acid, IBA, as well as the NAA, naphthyl acetic acid. Otherwise, if your objective of the experiment is the shoot culture or the shoot cultivation, then you need to adjust the culture medium with IBA, NAA in combination with cytokinin. So in such a way, you need to select the culture medium depending upon the objective of experiment. Next, moving into the another step of the callus culture, that is the transfer of explant. And after selection of the culture medium, you need to transfer the excised and washed explant into the culture medium depending upon the objective of the experiment. And after transferring it into the culture medium, those inoculations should be incubated by using the incubators. And after 3 to 4 weeks, you will be developing the callus growth, and sometimes the callus, depending upon the time, you will be observing the callus growth. The callus growth can be observed within the 2 to 3 weeks. And callus growth, the callus culture can be maintained and the changes can be observed. So the changes will be occurring during the callus culture. You can observe the gradual loss of water, and at the same time you can observe the accumulation of metabolic toxins during the callus culture. All these are the points which you can observe during the callus culture. And at the same time, after developing the callus culture, it is very necessary to subculture the callus into a fresh medium. So as a result, what happened, the healthy callus tissue is transferred into the fresh medium. Such transfer of
callus into a fresh medium, we call that as a subculturing technique, and the subculturing technique should be repeated every 5 weeks. And as a result, you can because of the culturing, because of the transferring and because of the subculturing technique, you can observe the callus tissue in different colors such as white, green, yellow, purple, brown. So each and every color indicates the something regarding the callus culture. If you observe white, if you observe the callus culture in the white color, so it is grown in dark, and that indicates the absence of chlorophyll. If your callus culture is in the green color, it is grown in light presence of chlorophyll. And if it is in the yellow color, because of the development of the carotenoid pigments in greater amounts in the callus tissue or the callus culture, it is going to produce a yellow color. And the purple color indicates the accumulation of anthocyanins, and brown color indicates the excretion of the phenolic substances. In such a way, each and every culture of the callus culture, each and every color of the callus culture indicates the presence of chlorophyll and all the things. Here is the schematic representation of the callus culture. Whatever I have explained, that is in the schematic way. First you will be taking the plant segment that should be sterilized, then that should be placed in the sterilized solution, then that should be placed in the culture medium, which is going to develop a callus. And after the formation of the callus, that callus should be cultured. That callus should be subcultured. The subculture is nothing but the transfer of culture into a fresh medium. So next, switching on to the another method of culture technique depending upon the in vitro growth, that is the suspension culture. The suspension culture is nothing but the uniform suspension of cells in the liquid medium. So for the preparation of suspension culture, we will be taking the callus fragments from the callus culture, and that is transferred into the nutrient medium. And as a result, after transferring into the nutrient medium, that is continuously agitated. With the help of agitation for the purpose of the cells to be separated. So this suspension culture, you can use for the suspension culture, you can isolate a single cell from the callus culture, or you can use the plant organs also. So if you use the callus culture in this for the suspension culture, you need to isolate the cells from the callus culture. So here is the procedure how to isolate the single cells from the callus culture. So first you need to select the healthy callus culture, and that should be placed in a petri dish on a sterile filter paper, and that should be cut into sterile pieces with the help of a sterile scalpel. Scalpel is a instrument which we will be using to cut the segments or the plant organs. After cutting the segments into small pieces, that selected pieces should be transferred into the flask which consists a liquid nutrient medium. Then that flask which contains a liquid nutrient medium should be agitated in the rotatory shakers at a speed of 50 to 150 revolution per minute. As a result, whatever the cells that are present in the callus will be getting separated in the culture medium. And if you are selecting the single cell from the plant organ, whatever I have explained till now, that is from the callus culture. You are isolating the single cell from the callus culture. If you want to isolate the single cell from the plant organ, you need to select the plant organ, and the single cells can be separated by means of two methods. One is the mechanical method and another is the enzymatic method. In the mechanical method, the fresh leaves. Here we are taking the plant segment as a fresh leaves. That the fresh leaf should be grinded in a glass and the mortar pestle. Sometimes you can use the homogenizers also. And whatever the homogenate that is obtained, that should be passed through the muslin cloth and should be washed with the sterile distilled water. And after washing, that should be centrifuged with the culture medium, and that should be placed in an inoculation. And next, switching on to another method, that is the enzymatic method. So with the help of enzymes, you are going to isolate the single cell from the plant organ. So here you are taking the leaves that should be sterilized with the 70% ethanol solution or hypochlorite solution, followed by the hypochlorite solution. Then it should be washed with the distilled water, and after that you need to peel off the lower surface of the leaf with the forceps. And that as a result, you need to cut the leaf into small pieces. That you need to transfer the small pieces into the flask which contains a sterile enzyme solution such as macroenzyme, as well as what the sterile enzyme solution composed of. It consists of macroenzyme solution, mannitol, and the potassium dextran sulfate. This is called as a sterile enzyme solution. After transferring the small piece segments into the flask which consists of a sterile enzyme solution, that flask should be incubated at 25 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. And during the incubation, the enzyme solution should be changed at a time interval of 30 minutes. And then you need to wash the cells, and that should be transferred into the culture medium where the culture medium is placed in the culture dish or the petri dishes. So now let us see how the growth pattern is there in the suspension culture. So in the cell suspension culture, it is initiated by transferring a undifferentiated callus tissue, that is established tissue, into a nutrient medium in a vessel or in a petri dish, and that should be constantly or continuously agitated throughout the culture medium, throughout the culture technique or throughout the culture period. So what does the composition of the medium consist of? It consists of the culture medium is same as that of the callus culture, but in the suspension culture we are going to add the agar. And after that you are going to transfer the cells into the liquid medium, and as soon as you transfer the cells into the liquid nutrient medium, it is going to divide, okay, and it is going to divide at the lag phase, and it is going to increase its population after the lag phase. Here is a graphical representation of the suspension culture. If you observe the graph, after the lag phase itself, the cells are going to increase in its population and reaches the stationary phase.